All right, today we're jumping into something that's going on inside of us all the time. It's your body's amazing and super delicate balancing act with its own fluids.
You know that feeling, right? Maybe it's a super hot day or you just finished a killer workout, and suddenly you feel dizzy, a little weak, and all you can think about is getting some water.
Or how about the total opposite? You wake up one morning, try to put your rings on, and no way. Or you notice your shoes feel super snug, like your feet are all puffy.
Well, here's the thing. Those feelings, they aren't just random. They are your body's way of screaming for your attention, telling you that its internal water world is seriously out of balance.
So it really all boils down to two extremes. You can have too little fluid, that's dehydration, or you can have way too much, which we call fluid excess. We're going to break down both sides of this, get into the science, the signs, and of course, how to fix it.
So let's get into it. What is actually happening inside your body when that scale tips one way or the other?
Okay, so on one end, you've got hypovolemia. Fancy word, but it just means dehydration. Basically, the amount of fluid cruising through your blood vessels takes a nosedive. Think of it like a river drying up. This happens for all the reasons you'd expect. You're sick, you have a fever, you lose blood, or you just flat out aren't drinking enough water.
And then there's the flip side, hypervolemia, or fluid excess. This is the exact opposite problem. Now that river is overflowing its banks. This usually happens when you take in way more fluid than your body can get rid of, often because something's up with your heart or your kidneys, and they just can't keep up.
This really puts it into perspective. With dehydration, the key thing is that fluid is getting out of the blood vessels, one way or another. But with fluid excess, the blood vessels get so overloaded that the extra fluid has to go somewhere, so it starts leaking out into your body's tissues.
So, how in the world are you supposed to know which is which? Well, your body sends out some pretty clear signals. Let's learn how to read them.
I mean, check this out. Just your vital signs tell a completely different story. When you're dehydrated, your heart has to work overtime to pump less blood, so you get this fast but weak, thready pulse, and your blood pressure drops. But with too much fluid, the system is under pressure, so you get a strong, pounding pulse, and your blood pressure goes up.
And you can often just see the difference. Dehydration literally dries you out. Dry mouth, maybe no tears, and if you pinch the skin on your hand, it might stay tented up for a second. With fluid excess, all that leaky fluid causes visible swelling, what doctors call edema, especially in your feet and legs.
And then you've got these other huge clues. Thirst, of course, is that classic alarm bell for dehydration. You'll also see the number on the scale go down, and your pee will get dark because your body is trying to hold on to every last drop of water. With fluid excess, though, the scale goes up, you might feel short of breath, and your urine is going to be really clear and diluted.
Okay, so the body is sending signals. Now let's put on our detective hats and see how healthcare pros confirm their suspicions with some hard data.
This is so cool because the lab tests show a perfect mirror image. In dehydration, your blood gets more concentrated. It's like a thick soup, so things like your hematocrit and BUN go up. But with fluid excess, your blood is all watered down, so those exact same values go down. It's like a chemical fingerprint.
But after all the tests, all the signs, what's the one thing that tells the truest story? It's your daily weight. And this is so important to remember. If you gain or lose a couple of pounds overnight, that's not fat, it's fluid. It is, hands down, the most accurate way to see these fluid shifts in real time.
All right, so we figured out the problem. Now for the most important part. How do we fix it? How do we get the body back to that happy, balanced place?
For dehydration, the game plan is pretty simple, right? Rehydrate. That means you got to get fluids back in, whether that's by drinking more or with an IV if things are serious, but you also have to fix whatever's causing the problem in the first place, and you have to be extra careful with older folks because they're much more sensitive to these changes.
Now for fluid excess, the strategy is all about getting that extra fluid out and keeping it out. That means limiting how much you drink and cutting back on salt, because salt is like a magnet for water. Doctors might prescribe diuretics or water pills to help your kidneys flush it all out. And simple things, like putting your feet up, can make a huge difference with the swelling.
And we really need to take this seriously, because the stakes are incredibly high. If dehydration gets bad enough, your organs don't get enough blood and they can start to shut down. If fluid overload goes on for too long, it can totally overwhelm your heart. Both extremes are truly dangerous. So it really all comes down to this. That thirst, that swelling, that sudden change you see on the scale, those aren't just little annoyances. They're messages. Your body is constantly talking to you in this language of balance. The only question is, are you listening?